Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to Mayhem Country Living, the channel that YouTube loves to hate. Christina Stearman had sent me a message and asked my thoughts on Excalibur dehydrating systems and or Harvest Right freezers. My thoughts on them and what I would do and what I would like to do. And I want to go over a couple of things with you about that. Also, Old Timer Lee, a very prolific commenter on the channel, he asked some questions and was interested in it as well. Because, well, we'll just get into that. Now, I have an Excalibur 3900T. It's a 9-tray dehydrator with a variable rheostat, and it does great. I've had it since 2017. I have not had a problem. I have been using it regularly since 2017. Everything from dehydrating fruits, vegetables, meats, all the way to drying out pictures, picture frames, stuff like that. Remember when the basement flooded? Stuck yearbooks and technical books inside and pulled out 3 shelves, dehydrated, dried out everything. Pages were a little crumbly. Works great. A lot of people don't do that. If you get your purse or wallet wet, take out a couple of trays, put it on the lowest setting, stick it in there, and it'll be easy peasy. Done. Now, at today's value, let's just talk about the Excalibur. At today's value, they are a base price of around $240. That is for the identical one that I have. It's off of Amazon. You'll have to look. They sell some used ones off Amazon. I don't know if I would buy one of those. Excalibur is a company name. Excalibur has proprietary components. That is to say, if I call them at the 1-800 number on the back of the dehydrator, I can get in touch with a live person Monday through Friday. I can talk to them. I can tell them what model I have, and they say, oh, you need a new blower fan. Oh, you need a heating element. That's about all there is in them. Timer, depending on what one you have. And they will send you the exact same replacement, manufactured by the exact same company that they got theirs from, because they are proprietary. I don't know that much about, like, I think Cabela's has one, Presto or Ronco, they have one. I don't know if they use the same company to provide the parts for it. That is to say, they might buy a lot of 100,000 heating elements from Wuhan or someplace, and then they might buy 100,000 from Calgary. You never know. I like Excalibur. They are pricey. Some people, if I say I like Excalibur, there's going to be people that comment, oh my God, I hate Excalibur. It's just the way it is. I have not had any problems. I have been dehydrating stuff, and they say on average, depending on, especially on vegetables and stuff like that, you can expect to have to go through your dehydrated storage in about a year. I have, on some of my stuff, I have been doing, well, this is 2022, and I've been going 4 years on this. This is corn, just add it to soups and stuff like that. No problems at all. You always want to check for a mold issue if you're having problems. You know, that's going to be your main thing. Obviously, the longer something sits on a shelf, the more loss of nutrients that you have. Gonna have to take a drink of coffee. More to come. Okay, now we're back. The Excalibur also has a much smaller footprint than a Harvest Right freeze dryer. But they are doing two different things, two different functions, two different forms of preservation. In dehydrating, we're removing all the moisture, as much moisture as you can. And that allows it to sit quasi-shelf stable for around a year or so. There are exceptions. Put in an oxygen absorber or a moisture absorber, pack it away, and you might get a little better time out of it. Again, always be aware of mold issues. Now, on to the Harvest Right freeze dryer systems. I will tell you, I do not have one yet, but I have looked into them several times. They're fantastic. They give you a 20+ year shelf life. Shelf stable hamburger meat packed away. Shelf stable steaks. Solid cut of steak if you want to. T-bone, freeze dry it. Take it out, pack it in the Mylar, and it can sit on a shelf. It's pretty good. Now, there are some considerations for the Harvest Right freeze dryers. They have a much larger footprint. I'm going to say the small ones, you can get away with a countertop. And countertop, I mean probably like a 32-inch countertop, and probably, I'm going to say 2 feet by 2 feet, and you need a side, a dressing area almost to get your preps, your trays, and everything to go in it. It is a touch it and forget it kind of process if you follow a few rules. It draws a cold vacuum. That's the easiest way to describe it. It draws a cold vacuum and holds it for 24 hours, continually drawing out moisture and moisture and moisture. And it is pumped out by a vacuum filter, and the filter is grained away. In a nutshell, they have a large footprint. They are much more expensive. They use more electricity. With an Excalibur, you can get away. I think Jack Spirko on TSP, the Survival Podcast, he did the math and brought it down to about running it 24/7. Well, at that time for electricity, it was probably about 3 or 4 cents a day, and that was 2017, something like that. When I was listening to him, obviously it's going to be more expensive because kilowatt hours are more expensive now. Maybe 10 cents. That's okay. The Harvest Right is going to use more electricity. It's just the way it is. I have talked to friends. I have many friends that have them, and they said they have seen a jump in their utility of about $40. That is using their Harvest Right 24/7 for the first month they got it because they were so excited. To me, once you build up a reserve in your food bank, and we'll do different videos on food banks later. Once you build up a reserve of freeze-dried stuff in your food bank, then you cycle through, so you would slow down. Cost. You can buy a Harvest Right freeze dryer, brand new for the small one, without the Premier pump, just the regular pump. Base model is $2,500, which kind of pricey, but it's not that bad. And they really haven't gone up because of all this stuff that's been going on. You can get the large model, which holds a lot more. If I'm going to get one, I'm going to get the large. I'm going to make sure I have enough footprint and a staging area for the contents that we are going to probably opt for that. How big of an area? I would probably make sure I have a 4 foot by 2 foot area, maybe a little bit larger. You can buy extra trays. It takes about 24 hours to cycle, to do, depending on what you use. Stuff with less moisture is better, so you can almost do like a pre-treat. You can freeze whatever it is you're going to put in there. I have friends that swear by it. I have eaten the steaks that they have rehydrated for me, and you really can't tell the difference. You really can't. A lot of people recoup the cost of their Harvest Right freeze dryer by freeze drying and selling candy on Facebook Marketplace. Yes, a lot of people do that, and a lot of people don't know about that. Skittles and gummy bears are the big thing. So if you want to defray the cost of your freeze dryer, you zap a whole bunch of Skittles and gummy bears. The gummy bear, the gummy bear, chewy gummy bear, like that. And he swells up to about like that, and it's like eating Pop Rocks. Space candy, you remember that stuff, my Gen X guys and gals. But here is the killer dealer thing about Harvest Right. They know their product is expensive. Oh, and I'm not an affiliate for either one of these. I'd love to be, but I just wouldn't sell enough to warrant my time or theirs. The nice thing about Harvest Right, they have a layaway plan. Yes, like Walmart layaway, they have a layaway program. A minimum of $250 goes in, and you pay on it and pay on it and pay on it. No interest, 0% interest. And at the end of it, they ship it to you. Hush your mouth. I know it. Hush your mouth. Pretty dang good. Now that is something I can take upstairs to the hooch, and I can sell her on a $4,000 Harvest Right system that I pay a little bit over time, and then at the end of it, I get it. Now, you said to yourself, you said it starts out at $3,500. Yes, but what I have been told by the 3 or 4 people that I know closely who have these things is that you want the Premier pump. Premier pump is an oilless hot rod vacuum pump. It's supposed to be better. I know a couple of people who have gone in together in communities, like mutual aid groups or planned bug out communities, and they have gone in together and they purchased it, and it's a communal unit, and they all share it and cycle through it, and one person is kind of in charge of the kitchen, and they schedule times for people to go through. Might be something you can do to help defray the cost. Say Christina Oldtimer and myself wanted to go in and get one. Well, $4,000 split 3 ways is a whole lot easier, including taxes and everything. That's each pay $1,350, something like that. That's something you can absorb a lot faster and easier, and still do it over time if you wanted to. Now, these are kind of some of the comparisons of Excalibur and freeze dryer through Harvest Right. They both have their place, in my opinion. You can really do a lot of stuff with Excalibur dehydrator. That's my moisture alarm going off from the flood that we had. It goes off and does a test every few days just to make sure, and it sent me an email. I got to do a video on it later also. But you really have a best of both worlds scenario. And if you incorporate home canning, whether it is water bath canning or pressure canning, it's like a trifecta. I mean, you can't really lose. And in these days and ages, with everything going on, how much is gas in your area? Yeah, I know. In this day and age, with the things going on, the more you can invest into your food bank. Again, we'll do a video on that later. Better off you are. I hope you guys learned a little bit from it. I will post some links for both Excaliburs and Harvest Rights in the comments below. If I forget, Somebody comment and remind me. Take care of you people, guys.